right here on Channel 5.
The banishment for life of Pete Rose from baseball is the sad end of a sorry episode.
I've made some mistakes, and I think I'm being punished for those mistakes. However, the settlement is fair.
Yesterday's hero, today a fallen idol. This is the CBS Evening News. Connie Chung sitting in for Dan Rather. Good evening. Cincinnati's Pete Rose, baseball's all-time hit leader, a man who holds 19 major league records, is out of the game today. Rose, who so symbolized the work ethic ball player that he was called Charlie Hustle, finally ended months of legal battling that cast a shadow on the season. Coach Tommy Helms was named as interim manager to replace Rose. Betsy Aaron begins our coverage of a day of high drama.
One of the game's greatest players has engaged in a variety of acts which have stained the game, and he must now live with the consequences of those acts.
Baseball Commissioner A. Bartlett Giamatti pronouncing sentence on Pete Rose. In Cincinnati, Rose faced the facts.
I've been in baseball 3 decades, and to think that I'm going to be out of baseball for a very short period of time hurts.
Pete Rose signed this document agreeing that he engaged in conduct not in the best interests of baseball. What he would not admit was betting on baseball.
And the only thing I can tell the fans is I did not bet on baseball. I have too much respect for the game, too much love for the game.
Disagreement from the commissioner.
Yes. I have concluded that he bet on baseball.
And you concluded that he bet on the Reds as well?
Yes.
There was no formal hearing on the gambling charges against Rose because Rose and his attorneys refused to attend one. The commissioner made his decision after an investigation conducted by his special counsel, in part after testimony from this man, former bookmaker and convicted drug dealer Ron Peters.
He bet on the Reds every time that I can remember.
That said, the commissioner still agreed to this wording. Nothing in this agreement shall be deemed either an admission or a denial by Peter Edward Rose of the allegation that he bet on any Major League Baseball game.
He got what he wanted, and that is no finding that he bet on baseball.
Rose has been declared permanently ineligible to participate in baseball, but under the rules of Major League Baseball, he has the right to apply for reinstatement in 1 year. That's a big but.
I've never looked forward to a birthday like I'm looking forward to my new daughter's birthday, because 2 days after that is when I can apply for reinstatement.
There is absolutely no deal for reinstatement.
I know what the commissioner told me, and that is he has an open mind on Pete's application for reinstatement.
Would Giamatti speculate under what circumstances Rose could be reinstated? No way, but
Confident steps towards rehabilitation, it seems to me, ought to be taken.
Do you believe you have a gambling problem of any sort, and if so, will you seek any sort of rehabilitation for it?
I don't think I have a gambling problem at all.
for Pete Rose, there is one other question, a question that at one time would never have been asked. Is there a place in the Hall of Fame for this greatest of baseball players?
I did my part to get in the Hall of Fame. It's up to you people who do the voting. I got all the hits and scored all the runs and won all the games.
The gloom over the Reds' Riverfront Stadium was mirrored in the mood of Cincinnati. Even before Rose's fate was official, people knew, and the city was sad.
I certainly didn't expect for life, and I think that's a dark day for Cincinnati.
They gathered in coffee shops and bakeries to witness their hero's downfall. Many here have supported Rose since 1963, his first year with the Reds. Many still do.
Pete Rose has given his whole life to baseball. You can't take someone's life from him that way.
But in the bars where Rose's gambling has fueled 6 months of debates, his continued denials are met with growing disbelief.
What, are you kidding me? The man is guilty as sin. He's been guilty since day one. Everybody knows that, for Christ's sake.
Come out, the game.
Pete Rose missed his last game as Reds manager. Charlie Hustle bypassed the ballpark in Chicago and headed for a cable TV shopping show in Minneapolis to hustle autographed balls for $39 each, jerseys $399 each.
We hope you enjoy it, and thank you very much for calling.
Baseball goes on without its all-time hit leader. At East Coast Little League playoffs, the news didn't affect the games, but it may have changed the players and the way they look up to the stars.
Well, I think that he should be banned because he did do something bad that you shouldn't do. I think it's wrong because he was a great player and he always will be so.
And at the big league ballparks, the fans regret the entire ordeal.
I've been very disgusted with the whole thing. I think it hurts baseball, which is my love.
I hate to see it happen. He's given baseball so many good years. I hate to see it end like this.
Many of these fans say Rose should make it to the Hall of Fame. Among the game's greats, the reactions are mixed.
He's the greatest single competitor I ever managed.
I believe Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer. I believe he should still be judged as a Hall of Famer.
A lot of Hall of Famers, while at Cooperstown, said that that if somebody bet on the game of baseball, they didn't feel like he should be in the Hall of Fame.
But Rose's friends worry about what he will do tomorrow and what he will do about gambling, which he insists is not a problem.
It frankly disturbed me this morning when my perception of his response to that question was almost defiant, when he said, I don't have a gambling problem and I don't intend to get any help.
Rose began his life without baseball, rushing back to Minnesota to sell more memorabilia on TV. While in the city that mourns his passing, the price on a Pete Rose rookie baseball card just went up $100. Gary Reeves, CBS News, Cincinnati.
From the office pool and the schoolyard to the big casinos of Las Vegas, people do bet on baseball. Not as much as they play state-sponsored lotteries or bet on professional football, but they bet a lot of money on baseball. Does that pose a threat to the game? Jerry Bowen investigated.
There wasn't much betting on the Cincinnati Reds in Las Vegas today. It's an off day, an awful year. The team, like its former manager, is out of the running this season. But betting on baseball in Nevada continues to be very big business. 20% of the sports action, worth more than $200 million a year. The Pete Rose saga hasn't changed that.
Baseball bettors are pretty dedicated. They're different than other sports. Baseball, since they play 162 games, it's people that are in there every day, and I don't think something like this is really going to affect them.
And betting on the game is pretty straightforward. There are odds, but no point spreads. Just put your money down and take your chance. And, say the pros, the people who make the odds, and the people who try to beat them, there's been no worry in recent memory about games being fixed.
It's almost impossible to fix a baseball game. Okay, suppose you get to the pitcher. If he's not doing any good, the manager's going to yank him out.
Baseball is the one sport we'll never worry about. It's impossible to fix. It would take a whole team like it did in 1919 in the Chicago Black Sox scandal.
It was actually the Chicago White Sox 70 years ago. 8 players, including shoeless Joe Jackson, banned from baseball for life because they tried to fix games in the World Series, a series ultimately won by, of all teams, Cincinnati. The next big crackdown came in 1947. Brooklyn Dodgers manager Leo DeRocher was suspended for the season just because he associated with gamblers.
No man is bigger than the game itself.
I hate to leave baseball.
So sensitive was the issue that even Hall of Famers Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle were temporarily banished from the sport after they accepted jobs as glad handers at Atlantic City casinos. The commissioner then was Bowie Kuhn.
I think what this does is give a warning to everybody in baseball, whether they're owners or players or umpires or coaches or anybody, that the rule means what it says.
And now Pete Rose. The bet in this town is that the scandal won't have any lasting impact on the game. No one player is that big. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Las Vegas.
We'll be back with other news of the day from Colombia, Poland, and Neptune. And then Bob McNamara looks at the life and times of Charlie Hustle, the tragedy of an American hero.
There's got to be a cure for athlete's foot.
There is. Step up to the mic.
Mike?
Micatin. It cured my athlete's foot. It's got miconazole. There's nothing more powerful than this.
Step up to the cure. Step up to the mic. Micatin.
Everybody knows the pain reliever hospitals use most is Tylenol. But
Tylenol is also recommended most for everyday pain by internists, family practitioners, general surgeons, and on and on. Tylenol, recommended the most by the people who know the most.
There are vitamins you take because you feel you have to, and vitamins you take because you want to. Vitamins can be flaky, bumpy, crispy, crunchy, and taste so good. It's Kellogg's Product 19 with 100% vitamin nutrition. The only high nutrition flake made with the wholesome goodness of 4 grains, including oats. Kellogg's Product 19. Flaky, bumpy, crispy, crunchy, tasty vitamins.
I'm Jim McKay for General Motors. You've been hearing a lot about car sales this summer, but you've been waiting for the big one. Here it is. America's biggest car company announces the biggest sale in its history, GM's Big Easy Sale. Over $1 billion big. Total cash back and dealer incentives over 60% bigger than last month. It's on every single 89 GM car and light truck. The Big Easy. It's that big, it's that easy. It's at your GM dealer right now.
Colombia's drug lords responded today to the government's new Get Tough policy. They declared war on the government and launched a series of attacks that killed 1 person. Juan Vasquez in Bogota has our report.
The drug cartel struck back today with its favorite weapons, violence and the threat of more bloodshed. In Medellin, they bombed the headquarters of the nation's 2 principal political parties and set fire to homes of 2 politicians. A written message delivered to a radio station accused the government of using illegal powers to seize property. The message declared, quote, total and absolute war against the government, business and political leaders, judges, journalists, everyone who has attacked and persecuted us. The Colombian cartel is not known for making idle threats, and what scares everyone here even more is that the message said they would not respect the families of those they have targeted.
We have been permanently in danger. That there is no secret about this. We have to go around with bodyguards and armored cars, and that's the normal situation in our country.
The government said it would not buckle under pressure or threats.
It is continuing, and it's going to be continuing till we win this battle against the drug cartels.
The usual heavy security surrounded government buildings, but that hasn't stopped Colombian killers in the past. An angry group of judges emerged from a meeting with the Minister of Justice saying they need more protection. They know that judges who rule against the drug cartel usually turn up dead or have to leave the country. Meanwhile, the government announced it had caught another trafficker wanted in the United States, Ana Rodriguez de Tamayo, under indictment in Arizona and Florida. The process of extradition to the United States has begun. But the dragnet has snared more than people. Ostriches, elephants, rhinos, and more than 5,000 other animals and exotic pets belonging to drug suspects, who have more money than they can spend. Juan Vasquez, CBS News, Bogota.
Poland got a new prime minister today. It was a historic change for that country and for the communist bloc of nations, and it brought into power the Solidarity trade union that little more than 4 months ago was illegal. Bert Quint reports.
Tadeusz Mazowiecki, a man most Poles never heard of until last week, won overwhelming approval from Poland's parliament today to form the first non-communist government in Eastern Europe in 4 decades. The communists will get several seats in Mazowiecki's cabinet, but Solidarity will be in control. The new prime minister, a 62-year-old Catholic journalist who helped form the link between intellectuals and blue-collar workers that made Solidarity strong, pledged his allegiance to his union, his church, and the cause of human rights. But he quickly assured the Soviet Union his government will respect Poland's commitment to the Warsaw Pact. Far from the excitement today, the man who proposed Mazowiecki for the job, Lech Wałęsa, said, I helped create this situation, but now I'm going to be busy with my union. That's shrewd politics, because the new government is bound to anger Poles by imposing austerity measures that will make life even more difficult for them, and Wałęsa hopes to avoid being burned in the process. Also absent from Parliament was Poland's other power broker, the communist president, General Wojciech Jaruzelski, who ordered Mazowiecki's arrest during martial law. Jaruzelski apparently preferred not to attend what seemed like his party's political funeral, but he reportedly has promised Mazowiecki he will try to get hardliners in the army and police to cooperate with the new administration. Solidarity was jubilant today, but its leaders know things could quickly go wrong, and if they do, the process of reform in Eastern Europe, including the Soviet Union, could end.
If we fail, they may fail as well.
A fearsome prospect, but for the moment at least, the major political forces in Poland have agreed to work together, and that in itself is a kind of revolution. Bert Quint, CBS News, Warsaw.
What's that?
Common Sense Oat Bran.
Common sense should tell you it takes these 4 boxes to equal the vitamin and mineral nutrition in just 1 box of Total.
That makes no sense. How about 100% natural?
How about 16 boxes?
How about enough is enough?
Total, 1 bowl, 100%. That's more nutrition than any other cereal.
Now that makes a whole lot of sense.
If it's whole wheat Total, it's Total Nutrition.
When your coffee's rich enough for all working day long and it tastes your way, it's necessarily Nescafe.
Great coffee blends to taste your way. That's necessarily Nescafe.
Last year, 6 million people bought a refrigerator 1 year too soon. Introducing the new refrigerator from Maytag. Buy one now, and if it's not working by the year 2000, we'll buy it back. See your Maytag dealer for details. See a Maytag repairman in our commercials. The new refrigerator from Maytag. The dependability people.
The low-priced Subaru Justy with 4-wheel drive. Think of it as a Range Rover that's more in your range.
The most celebrated sightseer in the universe has its sights set on Neptune. Voyager 2 is just hours away from its close encounter with the blue planet. David Dow reports on the overnight sensation that was years in the making.
It is the climax of a 12-year odyssey. Voyager now so close to Neptune that the great dark spot fills the lens of its camera.
This is it. This is the 24 hours we've been waiting for.
It isn't just scientists who are watching. Across the country, thousands are visiting museums and planetariums to view the latest pictures from Neptune, beamed from nearly 3 billion miles away. Some had never known a time when Voyager was not making its grand tour of the outer solar system.
Voyager is 12 and I'm 10, so he's 2 years older than me.
In Washington, the great-great-grandson of a discoverer of Neptune watched in amazement.
Indeed. Well, it just seems miraculous.
As Voyager approaches tonight's closest encounter, Neptune has become a spinning globe, a map planet, thanks to the spacecraft and Earth-based computers. Meanwhile, Voyager continues making discoveries. 2 tiny new moons, N5 and N6, each less than 60 miles across. Voyager had already found 4 other moons. One of those, it turns out, is not round. New evidence of a complex icy surface on the moon Triton, perhaps even craters, and stronger pictorial evidence that Neptune has 2 full rings, not just 1.
If you were riding aboard the spacecraft, you might just barely be able to pick them out with your eye. Yeah.
Voyager will arrive at Neptune 4.5 minutes earlier than the estimates of many years ago. It will pass about 3,000 miles above the planet's cloud tops.
That's within 20 miles of the point we aimed at, 3 billion miles away. So it's not bad shooting.
Within hours, Voyager will tell scientists more about Neptune than they've learned in all recorded history. Handling the rush of data, said one astronomer, is like trying to take a drink from a fire hose. David Dow, CBS News, at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Totally amazing, said an archaeologist today as he viewed images sent by a submersible robot of a ship 565 feet below Lake Superior. The Edmund Fitzgerald sank in November 1975 off the coast of northern Michigan with the loss of all 29 people on board. The ship, carrying 26 tons of iron ore, was tossed by 35-foot waves in a tremendous storm. The sinking of the Fitzgerald became the subject of a ballad by Gordon Lightfoot.
Are your teeth sensitive? Do they hurt? Sensodyne toothpaste can help stop the domino effect that can start with sensitivity. Then pain can make you stop brushing and can lead to tooth loss. Sensodyne toothpaste helps stop the pain and the domino effect.
It's Color Tile's lowest prices of the year sale. Come now and save up to 77%. Save on wall and floor ceramics, solids and patterns from just 48 cents. Wood flooring as low as $1.32. Every in-stock Armstrong Solarian vinyl tile, just 73 cents. In-stock wall coverings, plus new color carpet. All DuPont Stainmaster, now as low as $8.88. Save up to 77% at Color Tile's lowest prices of the year sale. But hurry, sale ends Sunday.
There's a motor oil that talks about quality. Always has, always will. Well, Valvoline makes the highest quality motor oil recommended by any automobile manufacturer. Oh yeah, unlike the competition, Valvoline also makes the motor oil used by 7 out of 10 Indy 500 crew chiefs. That's 7 out of 10 Indy crew chiefs over the last 10 years. People who know, use Valvoline.
If you took Benadryl for your allergy this morning, there's something you should know. Contact maximum strength caplets work twice as long.
Gesundheit!
Until there's a cure, there's contact.
A dramatic discovery described today in Canada zeroes in on a killer of young people. A researcher called the news the most exciting event since the disease was first described in medical literature 50 years ago. Medical correspondent Susan Spencer reports.
Applause greeted the announcement in Toronto, and no wonder. Parents and researchers have prayed for this literally for decades.
We think we have isolated a gene responsible for cystic fibrosis.
This is an amazingly important breakthrough. It is what we have been waiting for.
It paves the way for early detection, new treatment, and someday potentially a cure for cystic fibrosis, of vital interest to people like the Holmers, whose children, Scott and Joy, are among the country's 30,000 victims. CF is America's most common fatal genetic disease. It affects mainly the respiratory system and pancreas, causing lung infections and digestive problems. Few patients live past their mid-20s. For the Holmers, it means that each morning begins with therapy, efforts to clear the children's lungs.
It's not treating the cause. It's not at the gene, it's treating the symptoms that would destroy them.
But the discovery of the culprit gene means that the attention now can shift from CF symptoms to its underlying cause.
What we're now hoping to do is develop new therapies that will prevent that damage from occurring in the first place.
1 in 20 Caucasians carries the CF gene. If both parents have it, the odds are 1 in 4 of having a CF child. But genetic tests soon will be able to tell for sure. It's harder to put a timetable on a new treatment for this disease, one that now takes so many so young. Susan Spencer, CBS News, Washington.
A prescription drug now used as a painkiller may turn out to be a treatment for cocaine addiction. Harvard researchers report that when monkeys were given the drug buprenorphine, their craving for cocaine fell dramatically. The drug will be tested on human cocaine addicts later this year. A surge of blue-chip stocks today led a broad advance as Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at an all-time high, breaking the record set just 2 years ago.
When people count on you, count on Post-it brand notes.
This business may seem like easy work, but try doing this with minor arthritis pain. For years I took aspirin, but now there's Advil. My doctor got me to try Advil for my arthritis pain. You know 1 Advil is as effective as 2 regular aspirin, and that's the kind of strength I like. Advil gives me hours of relief, yet it's gentler to my stomach than aspirin. Advil does wonders for my aching joints and for my green thumb. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
A recent test compared the Toyota Tercel stick shift, the Hyundai Excel stick shift, and the Subaru Justy Automatic. But we made it just a little tougher on the Justy, because you don't have to shift the Justy, and its incredible ECVT automatic makes it accelerate and pass quicker than the Hyundai and the Toyota. Proof that Subaru can beat the competition with one arm and one leg tied behind its back.
A foreign-born observer once wrote, "Whoever wants to know the heart and mind of America had better learn baseball, the rules and realities of the game." And perhaps it is that identification of the country with baseball that accounts for the mixed reactions today to the news of Pete Rose's suspension. Compassion is overwhelmed by anger, sympathy by disgust, and through it all a sense of waste, the terrible waste that a man who once symbolized what is best about the sport, its sense of innocent joy, should step down in disgrace. Bob McNamara looks at the fall of a hero.
Pete Rose wasn't baseball's greatest player, but few others ever took their limited skills as far as he did for as long as he did. And few others were ever so richly rewarded in honors and dollars.
Lots of hustle, that's our Pete.
The sweat of his efforts bringing commercials and endorsements. The gravy on multi-million-dollar player contracts.
Big boy have a ball.
Too bad he knew bookies better than bankers. Though Pete Rose was a gambler, he was a gamer too. And whether it was the bone-jarring slide for home, the jabber around the batting cage,
The perfect game, 7 innings.
or the 44-game hitting string that took him off the pages of the sporting news and onto the evening news.
In Cincinnati,
Pete Rose always seemed on a streak to break Ty Cobb's hitting record, a streak of indiscretion, the tax dodging, the girlfriends. Pete Rose was no saint, but he never seemed sinister. And though his fashion appetite ran to mobster sharkskin, his cars from Mercedes to Rolls-Royce. In a blue-collar world where a man's measure is a hard day's work, Pete Rose was every man's steel worker and bowling buddy.
Oh, boy. They better grab Pete.
A bratwurst on the big league grill of prime rib.
What an afternoon here at Wrigley Field.
Pete Rose had such a hunger to hit, he could never bring himself to officially retire as a player. And though he still tried to approach the game as he did as a 22-year-old rookie, baseball didn't change much since then, but its men did. Today, the stories of drugs, drinking, and domestic trouble are the headlines, not homers or heroics. And television has brought home the image of the new big leaguer as crude, foul-mouthed successors to the game of DiMaggio, Musial, Killebrew, and Bench.
2-1 pitch from Schaub into left center. There it is. Rose has eclipsed Cobb. That's number 4,192.
Was Pete Rose a heavy or a hero? Perhaps a hometown hero. But show me a hero, Fitzgerald wrote, and I will write you a tragedy. And sadly, Pete Rose is another one for the books.
And that's the CBS Evening News. We hope you'll stay tuned for Dan Rather in 48 hours on the drug crisis in the nation's capital. That's at 8, 7 Central Time. I'm Connie Chung, sitting in for Dan Rather. I'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us and for all of us at CBS News. Good night.
You're about to walk the streets of America's murder capital. The Washington tourists don't see. What will the next 48 hours be like tonight?
This is CBS.